Now it lets the Tigers in for the ball. Goes out of bounds. Umpire says deliberate. Deliberate.
And I think he wanted the line there.
It is a bad call.
It's a bad call.
I actually feel really sorry for the umpires. The amount of interpretation they've got to make. We just keep adding layer upon layer, so I don't blame the umps at all. At all.
Inside the tagging 50, paddled towards the line. I did think he wanted the line, but you don't see those paid off and deliberate.
Not saying it cost them the game, but I mean, what a call with, 30 seconds to go.
So Tigers fans watching that won't make them any happier, I wouldn't think.
And that has reverberated ever since. Jordan Lewis, welcome.
Hey, boys.
Jack Revolt, hello.
How are we?
Hello, Happy.
You're on the Laws of the Game Committee. Is that what you had in mind?
Oh, dear. What a week, eh? Oh, look, it's a line ball decision. I've heard a lot of commentary around it. At the time, I didn't think...
You didn't think
there was some good overlay there. I was arguing the umpire about something else, and it looks like I've been arguing about that. But at the time, I was like, oh, yeah, quick switch on to defence, and I wasn't sort of my reaction to go, hang on, what's that a free kick for? But slow it down, and it probably looks like he's fumbled it over the line. But
Can I be honest? Can I ask you really?
Yeah.
Does one decision after 120 minutes deserve the commentary that's got for the last 3 days, when the mistakes were made by you and everyone else? Is it real or not real? That one decision, suddenly that's the reason why Richmond lost.
No, I don't think that's the reason, but it certainly gets highlighted when the game is so close and a decision could go either way.
At the end of a game.
At the end of a game, it gets the commentary that drags on, because that's the lasting memory that you have of that game. You can't remember someone that mucks up in the first quarter, but because it's the end of the game, and that's why the Selwood Pendlebury stuff was
that's fair.
sort of dragged on, because it's the last thing that people see. But I think players are adding to it. There's no doubt. When that ball went over the line, there was 4 or 5 players like this. So the umpire...
Come on, you were like this, Jack.
Does have
No, you weren't. No, you weren't doing that.
No, but he has to make a tough decision, and when you've got players from the opposition egging him on in a way...
Do you like that? When you see players do that, do you like it or not?
Well, you try your luck.
So you don't, it doesn't worry you?
That's what you do.
I do it.
I
hate it. I hate it. What do you think?
Well, it's like cricket. You appeal and see which way it goes.
We never used to appeal. We never.
But that's what
it's come to. It's not. I don't like it. I don't like it. We should be talking about the fact that you were 32 points in front, and the club coughed it up.
We will. But let's just do the rule stuff first, because you do have the unique insight of sitting in the Laws of the Game Committee, which sat on Thursday and then led to the weekend. Are you satisfied that insufficient intent is serving the game well?
Yes, I think it's the best rule that's been brought in. It is by far one of the most crowd-engaging rules we have, and it's certainly led to a better style of game. I think the area where we're seeing it probably played the best is deep in front of the goal face, and sides are really striving to keep the ball in. Look, you're going to cop a bad one every now and then. That's just, you cop a bad high tackle, you cop a bad decision.
Are you saying this because you're on the Laws of the Game Committee,
or
are you saying this because you're really sincere?
I just think it's like, I can speak on behalf of a player. It's bloody hard to play the game, and I can't imagine how hard it is to umpire the game.
But for you to say the rule has been a success in a certain way because it's engaged the crowd, I don't think we should be measuring
I
on
think
that.
It's a lot of our brought a better style of game as well. I think it's brought a more engaging game. I know that a lot of fans don't like it.
Well, they don't reward tackling anymore, so from a crowd point of view, no one yells out ball anymore because someone lays 128 tackles and there's 4 free kicks paid.
Yeah.
So that's taken away the crowd. But Jordan's right. Crowds are important. What about the essence, spirit of the game on giving the benefit of the doubt to players when it's not deliberate?
Oh, look, from the instances that were shown at the Laws of the Game, there is certainly an intent to get the ball out of bounds. And players are smart. They know to get the ball out of bounds. The only one that was probably iffy, or probably incorrect was the Zaharakis one at Adelaide Oval, where it was deemed that it was probably too far out, too in the middle of the ground.
He kicked it from inside the centre circle.
That's what was wrong. So players are pretty smart, and I think the commentary around it, and especially from players, I think they're playing down the fact of how smart the players are and where they want to put the ball.
Do you think it will favour the game longer term?
No, I don't think so. I think it's maybe when it gets brought back. I think it's gone too far one way, which usually happens when we get a directive as players that we want to play a certain way. We always go to the extreme, and then it takes a few weeks, months to bring it back to where we actually want it. So I think that would be because it's new to us, it's new to the umpires, it's new to the game, it's new to the crowd. That's probably why it's so exciting, because it's new. So that's why the crowd are involved, and there's always that uncertainty. But I think hopefully it'll be tweaked a little bit, because we've got an oval ball that bounces in any direction. So we need to just umpire and make it a little bit more clearer.
And the tackling debate is, where do you sit? Were the two suspensions, were they the sling tackle that we were trying to outlaw from the game?
Yeah, Jack and I were talking about this before the show. Has it just been so prevalent in the last 5 years? Like, I've never heard of a sling tackle really previous to that. But in the last 5 years, you hear about it nearly weekly.
I think they've been really. You guys have been really good at eradicating this from the game. I really do. This used to go along and say, "Get up, you weak bastard." You know, it's a tough sport. Those days are gone.
Yeah, and I don't know whether players are accepting the tackle more these days and not fighting through it, so they do become a little bit limp in the tackle, so it is easier for the tackler to sling.
Do you do that?
No, we get taught to try and break the tackle.
What, hands up, or actually break the tackle?
And maybe players, because they're so frightened of maybe getting holding the ball, they're trying to get the ball out, and in the motion of getting that out, they don't become as strong in the tackle.
So then there's a person doing the tackling, and join in, Jack, whenever here, mate. So the person doing the tackling and putting them to the ground, you know if you're going to try and hurt them.
Yeah.
So when a guy's knocked on...
Yeah.
You know when you've got them cold. There's no doubt. It's a great word. You know when they've got them.
You can feel whether they're strong in the tackle.
They were both cold, in my opinion.
Kobe Stevens one holding the ball? Really? You don't
no,
think
not
that
cold.
Just happened?
Cold they haven't got a lot of leeway. They've got nothing to go to.
Yeah. So do you think they were both suspensions?
I would have said on the night watching the Kobe Stevens one, free kick against straight away. Not holding the ball, that's definitely a sling tackle. The weight ones, I suppose, is a little bit different, but this is my number one point on laws of the game is player safety. And unfortunately, we just cannot have players getting knocked out due to other players tackling them. It just cannot happen.
So the week before Mumford knocked out Liberatore in a tackle out of the game, that was deemed to be okay.
The slinging action is the one that they're talking about here. The Mumford one's a driving tackle. I think certainly some things have got to be looked at with centre wicket as well. I'm pretty sure Canberra's got a centre wicket where they play cricket, so you've got to take that into factor. So there's so many outlining factors here where the players had multiple concussions. Are they more susceptible to concussions? So, but that is the one thing that I take into laws of the game. Will this affect player safety, and what is the right thing for player safety, in my opinion?
Okay. How was the experience on Sunday?
It was a good experience, bar the result.
Yep.
I mean, I was happy with how the Hawthorn supporters treated me. It was nice, but yeah, it was fine. It was just how I sort of expected it to sort of unfold. You know, there wasn't too much argy-bargy. It was Hawthorn played quite well in the first quarter, which wasn't great to watch, but
it wasn't about you at the end. It wasn't even about you at the start.
And that's what I wanted it to be. I mean,
what's wrong with your team? What's going on with your team, Jordan? But we're doing a big thing on this in tomorrow's Herald Sun. The quarter failings that your club, and you've been sitting there watching as well, I know, but they fail in quarters and quarters, and Sam Edmund is really delving into this tomorrow. You must have been so disappointed at quarter time when you gathered back at the brunch and said, what was that?
Yeah, it was, and that's when we reviewed the first quarter, and the stuff around the ball was really good, but it was the setups and the ability to get yourself in a position to...
Explain that. So the structure around the ball was good. Everyone was happy with...
Our hunt was good. Our in-close work was really good.
So what was it, without giving too much away, what would you like to improve on?
The off-the-ball positioning and just putting ourselves in a position where I think Hawthorn defenders really dictated to our forwards, and our backs probably weren't as aggressive as what we would have liked. So it didn't give ourselves a chance to compete. But we've won the 4th most quarters in the competition. So it's the quarters that we probably are losing are in critical parts of the game, and we may have been getting beaten by a huge margin in 1 quarters. But I think we've won the 4th most quarters of any side. So we're doing a lot right, but we're not winning.
Yeah. So is it close? You've got to feel it's close, don't you?
Yeah, and that for me is the frustrating thing, that we are having little lapses in games which aren't helping us. But every single stat that we take, stats that have been taken over premiership sides for the last 10 years, we are in the top 4 of. There's 2, which I won't go into, that we need to improve on, and we see that will get us that benefit and hopefully more wins.
And now it's the Crows who... That trip to Adelaide looked so ominous, and then they got pulverised in the most unexpected way.
It just shows that anyone is, if they don't bring their game, I mean, North Melbourne were 10 goals to 0 at quarter time. So if you don't show up, doesn't matter who you are, where you are, you'll get beaten.
When you review not showing up, okay, and when we know what it sort of means. So when you review not showing up for a quarter, what does it get hammered down to? Mentally, it's all mental.
Well, there's got to be the mental side of it, because you've got 22 players. You don't know what's going on in their life. Now you just hope that they've got everything in place and they rock up game day, understanding what is required and what they need to do. But you might have a player running out on the field thinking about totally something different to football, just because there's something going on in his life.
You can carry one, can't you?
You can carry one,
and then when there's 22 of them,
you're never going to win.
Well, this is what's happening. It's what's happening at your club, and it's happening at you guys after half-time last week. Is it a defeatist attitude in your position last week? God, we can't win this. You got slaughtered in that second half.
I disagree
2 weeks ago.
I don't think we would go in with the attitude of we can't win this. They rose the bar.
I didn't say that. No.
You said we were thinking that we can't win
this. It's a defeatist. We think at half-time.
Well, I'd certainly disagree with that. I just think that they played better than us in the second half. They're a pretty good side. They won the flag last year. I mean, it just happens. This is the thing that sometimes you can play good footy and lose.
We got confused. I wasn't talking about this week. I was actually talking about the Crows game because he was playing. So I was talking about the helplessness in the Crows game in the second half.
Yeah, I think momentum is starting to become more and more prevalent in AFL footy, and sides are putting big goal runs on opposition sides. Now, Adelaide did it to us 2 weeks ago, and they're a great side, and they have the ability to do that. And I think we saw on the weekend, North just did the same thing to Adelaide. You get one, and then sides start getting defensive, and they get away from actually what is the crux of it and what is their strengths. So that's just the way I'm seeing the game at the moment. It's a game of momentum, and you need to get it, and you need to hold on to it.
So separate to the result on Saturday night, did you feel like the team did a lot right?
Yeah, I thought we played pretty well.
Yeah,
I still think we should have won. I felt like we probably played a little bit better than they did, but they had some. They took their opportunities probably a bit more in that last quarter there, but our blokes held in there. Ball bounces one other way, get a throw in maybe, and it might go a different way, but. I mean, what a fantastic round of footy. The Kiss of Death won the tipping this week, I would have thought.
I got 3.
Did you really? Yeah, I got 3.
3. I think that won my tipping competition.
Did you know you kicked your 500? Did you know it was... You know
Did he know?
No, there's a good little story behind this. I've been doing... So, you got on me about my goal kicking.
Shorten it.
And I got down to it, simple thing short, build it and they will come, and I've started doing goal kicking after training again, and a lot of the young kids been getting around there. There's an amazing bit of footage from behind the goals. Dan Butler and Jason Castagna standing 5 metres either side because Andrew McQualter said to him, if you ever want to get on a poster, boys, there's the one. So he sent the screenshot after it, and the two of us, Georgie on one side and you'll see Butler on the other.
Talking to each other.
And they came rushing in here. There's so that's the exact shot there. Yeah, Gregor's not too far away. So I only realised probably 10 seconds, 15 seconds after I kicked the goal that it was my 500th. I knew I was on 499, but it only snuck in by a whisker, and I was sort of more thinking about that.
Your rhythm's back. Your goal kicking rhythm, is that fair?
I'm kicking it pretty well. Yeah.
It's a good list to be on.
It's a great
Jack.
list.
It's something I'm pretty proud of.
Jack Titus must have been able. What are you going to end up with? What are you, 5? Well, can you get to Richo? How old are you?
28.
No.
300 goals.
You can get in between 700 and 800 goals, and you know you can.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's sort of dawned on me a little bit lately. My old man texted me today, and I was just like, oh shit, like made me feel good
Sorry
about myself.
that, kids.
Yeah, sorry about that. But it made me feel proud of it because my old man was like, he was proud of it. So
I saw him the week before.
Yeah.
When you kicked the first 2 goals in the Anzac Day game.
Yeah.
Big cabbage, old man. He was very proud of that night.
When it gets to review and the poor physical efforts, so there are 2 from the weekend, is Daniel Rich and Stephen Motlop. What happens in review when a player doesn't commit the way that he would like to, you would like them to?
You really have to take into account what the player is like. I don't know either of the players, but if the player knows when he shirks an issue that he didn't give it his all, and certain players can cop it. Certain players you have to sort of tiptoe around the issue. But if it becomes a weekly thing, that's when there's no other effort just to hit him between the eyes. But
it's really interesting. It depends on the player.
Yeah, absolutely.
There can't be a hard, is there a hard, you can't have a sort of a hard rule, bang, it's black or white.
No.
You go.
No, you can't. Because then you might lose a player for 3 or 4 weeks. Whereas if a player doesn't do what you need them to do and you sort of deal with the issue and tailor it to the player, you can then get them back on side.
Have you guys ever had a moment? Be honest.
Oh, I haven't had a moment like that, but against Adelaide, there was one moment where I didn't chase out what I would expect, and the first thing I did is I actually you got to own it. You got to say, look, you know what, boys? I'll sit there and I'll look at that bit of footage and I go, yep, you know what? I'm bloody embarrassed about that. I'm bloody embarrassed that I've got Rioli, Butler, Morris tackling their asses off down there, and I'm like, well, I need to be better than that. So that's the first thing, and then, you know what? I think going into the game against the Bulldogs, I'm thinking, you know what? Don't let the side down with your tackling. Don't let the side down with your tackling.
Turn it into a positive.
Turn it into a positive. So the only thing I can say on that is just got to own it. You've got to learn from it and go and do it different.
Fix it up.
Have you got family news?
Yeah, Lucy and I are expecting twins.
Twins!
Twins!
I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's about to get busy in October.
Tell you what happened, about 100,000 Hawthorn supporters watching the show just went, Louis having twins.
Congratulations.
2036, there'll be 3 Lewis boys running around, hopefully.
Pass our best on to Lucy.
Will do.
Well done,
Jordan Lewis and Jack Revolt with us, our players.